This is Leaving Malaysia, take 2.
Hey love, you got your heart on your sleeve, but the shirt on your back's a bit small. Hey,
thank you so much.
Yeah, your colors are changing the world.
Ah, it's so good knowing that I've made this flight.
Na 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 na.
After nearly working on this film for 150 days, I have arrived in Timor, probably the most important place for this research journey and trip. Now I travelled to Denpasar. I had to stay the night on the floor in the airport just for a few hours, so didn't really get much sleep last night. So I'm going to show you around Delhi tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow, okay? Good night. It's beautiful. It's wild. After being in Malaysia for a while, you know, which was a melting pot of all different cultures, coming here, it's just, I don't know. It's really different. Wild and untouched in a way, and it's incredibly beautiful, but it's also incredibly dirty, lots of rubbish around. And then you've got nice happy people, but they're quite abrupt as well, like straight to looking at the camera and saying, what is that, what are you doing? But I think they're doing it out of complete nicety and sincerity. And then you've got cars and motorbikes that beep at every single turn. I mean, taxis just beep at me walking down the street just because they want to see if I want to ride. It's really, really interesting here, really interesting. So by the time Carson gets here, I will have been in Timor for 2 days already. Now, what's the significance of Timor? Oh, Jesus, this water's coming right up to my bottom. What's the significance of Timor? Having already done a pass through the script, I know that Timor, I'll probably dedicate at least a half an hour of an hour and a half film. So it's quite important that I see this through the eyes of Carson, and it's very important that he's here with me, and so I'm really excited about that. Where would you suggest is a rainforest that is the most similar to what they would have walked through? What landscape would you suggest would look the most similar to that?
Even when I came here like 7 years ago, it seems to be
but
the
it's
main
really
area.
moved to Timor Plaza now.
Okay.
Because this just feels like a main strip, doesn't it? See you, Mel. So Carson, Sheridan and Michelle have all arrived now, and it's really, really great. So good to start talking to people who are here. We met a lady who was here in 1975, and she told us a little bit about what it was like. And this is just day one, and we've organised a few meetings and times for catching up with other people in the days to come.
When you're on a roll with a project you're working on, it's very easy to ride that wave and not do any extra work. Well, it's 5:25 and I've got a Skype meeting in 5 minutes. I think when you're on a roll, it's time to do more work. Let's do it. So once I finished the first pass,
I realized that the voice I was telling it from, so the voice I decided to tell it from was from the youngest child's perspective, because I wanted that sort of fairy tale narrative-ish. It was fine. It was very light. It was almost like a child's film, because you can't really delve into the heavier sort of stuff. And I was having a chat to my mother, and she's like, why does it have to be Carson's point of view? And I was like, look, I guess it doesn't have to be. And then she came back to me and she said, why can't it be the father's? And instantly, as soon as she said that, I was like, duh. I mean, this is where the story starts. This is the person who has the most invested in everything. This is the person who brings his family everywhere. This is the person who's sort of calling the shots. Oh, just straight away, that's so much better. So that's the first pass has got to be completely redone, because it's got to give it that from his point of view. So what I'm doing this morning is I'm Skyping with my mother, and we're going to go through what I did, and I'm going to talk about what I want to do for this new script, and we'll create a new step outline for this new direction script, so that I can start writing it again, because I'm getting itchy to write about this write a new draft, but it's because I'm so itchy about it, I'm like, no, I need a step outline first. And so I'll have a chat with my mother, and we'll sort that out. So right now, we are off to one of the major locations in the films. It's a place where the hippies would stay on the beach on a concrete slab potentially, and wait for the barge that would take them to the border. We're just going to go to the spot and check it out, aren't we, Carson?
Yeah, now there's a 5-star beach club.
Now there's a 5-star beach club. You know what would be funny? If the hippie Hilton turned into an actual Hilton.
Yeah.
And it was just the Hilton.
It's like fenced off.
Now, there was an opportunity, being $1 a night, there was an opportunity here to give blood for $15. And if you gave blood, then that would pay for 15 nights here in the Hippie Hilton. I think it's a funny point in the story where you can go, you know what, I don't like hippies, we don't actually stay here, which is so ironic, seeing as they traveled the world to try and get there, and they were kind of hippies themselves. But yeah, the Hippie Hilton. Cool. So something's really just clicked in the last few days. Maybe since arriving to Timor, or maybe just a little earlier. Maybe it was since that first pass I did. I can start to visualize the film a lot more now, and by that I mean I can already start to see what actors I want to play the parents, potentially a lot of the filming locations as well. I'm starting to see that a lot clearer, and I don't know whether that's because I've reached this probably the apex of the research of this film. Next week, or in the next video, we're going to go up and actually go along the journey. So there was a point at which the Horne family could choose to stay in Dili, where I am now, or they could go out to the border by walking, you know, and there's no walking path now, but we're going to drive along. We're going to stop at certain spots along the way that they did. So that's really cool as well. But I'm really at the pinnacle of the research for this film, and it's so interesting how everything's really clicking now, and I'm so ready and so invested in getting the script to be not perfect, but getting the script to be something that's good, something that's a page turner, that's something that people want to read and watch, and I'm really more excited than I think I've ever been for this film now. We're really getting to a point where it's just, I can see it, I can feel it, and that's a really cool feeling. It's a really cool feeling.